Royals lose 2-3 in Philadelphia. Playoff chances still hanging by a thread, but we saw some good stuff on Sunday and on Saturday as well. Milestones hit, some good indicators of currently the present of this organization and the future. And we'll talk about that right now live here on the show. We're back at it here on Kansas City Sports Network. I'm Joel Penfield. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, rate, subscribe, review on all platforms. Hit those notification bells so you know when these episodes go live. We are live on a Sunday night, as we always are. And I know this may get lost in the fog a little bit of the NFL and the Chiefs and all that, and I totally understand. But if you are listening to this or watching this later, I do greatly appreciate it. Sticking with me and this team as the season winds down. They did win today in pretty emphatic fashion. Admittedly, they took the lead and all that during, I took an inadvertent couch nap watching Red Zone. So they were down 2-0 early, and then I put my phone away and watching Red Zone, keeping track of it. And I wake up and all of a sudden it's 6-2. I'm like, well, I guess I got to go back and see what happened. So just kind of a wild day in that regard. The season is what it is at this point. This team is 75-75. They're still, the playoff chances are just hanging by a thread. They're still 6 games back with about 12 to play. Now they have Seattle coming up and they have Toronto coming up. There's a chance to make up ground, but the percentage of that happening is pretty slim. Seattle's playing really good baseball right now. They've won 9 in a row. They swept a homestand and are playing some of their best baseball right now and are now first in the American League West. So you're actually chasing Houston. You're not chasing Seattle at this point, but a chance to see, where they're at and, can they end the season with some positive momentum, to head into next season. I don't know. We'll see. Not going to talk about a lot of the specific details of the games this weekend because at this point, the games are what they are. The results are what they are. They kind of ended their, kind of gave themselves their last rites in the end of the season earlier this week when they're playing in Cleveland. Losing 3 or 4 in that series to me that was kind of the moment that it was like the playoff chances were done, and it's still mathematically possible, but I'm not quite there. So I want to spend the beginning of this show up until the break talking about Salvador Perez and the milestones that he hit on Saturday. Literally hit too. And then I want to talk about kind of the future of the organization with some of the performances that we saw on Sunday. Jack hitting a homer, Carter getting behind the plate, getting a couple of hits this weekend, and then Noah Cameron continuing to do what he's done on this rookie campaign. So let's go to Sal. He'd been stuck on 299 for what felt like forever. He got to 299 there in Cleveland. He was stuck on 298 for quite a while. Gets to 299, and then it's just a matter of, okay, is he going to do it in Philly, or is he going to do it at home? What's going to happen? And he gets 298. Or no, he didn't get 298. Why did I think he did? So sorry. I thought I had my games mixed up. Saturday, he comes up in the first inning, whacks a homer. They kind of got to Taijuan Walker, early in that game. And so there's 299, and he's at 999 RBIs. So it's like, hey, he might come up here and he has an opportunity to get 300 and 1,000 in one swing. Next at bat, hits it into the seats. 300 homers, 1,000 RBIs on his career. He is now the 8th catcher in Major League Baseball history with 300 career home runs as a primary catcher. The other guys listed, Mike Piazza, Johnny Bench, Carlton Fisk, Yogi Berra, Gary Carter, Lance Parrish, and Pudge Rodriguez. The only 2 on that list, including now Salvador Perez, to do it with one team solely is Johnny Bench and Salvador Perez. That's it. Just an unbelievable accomplishment. We thought maybe he had a chance coming into the year that he would. Really struggled in the power department the first couple of months and looked like, is he going to get there? And he just, once June rolled around, he just found the power stroke again. And it's just a testament to his, the work that he puts in, the how much he loves this game and shows up every day to man the post and play. It kills him when he's not playing, man. And I know that. And for him to reach this milestone with one organization wearing that Captain C on his chest, it's a remarkable accomplishment. And to me, this, as if it hadn't already, 13 is going to get retired by this organization. It's not just going to be a Royals Hall of Fame. That number will never be worn in Kansas City again, in my estimation. And then additionally, now the Hall of Fame conversation gets interesting. And I have always kind of leaned the fence sat on the fence when it comes to the Salvador Perez Hall of Fame discussion. When you look at yes, some of the counting stats he has, like the home runs, the RBIs. He's a catcher. He's got a handful of Gold Gloves, Silver Sluggers. He's got individual accolades to go along with this. He had the 48 home run season, which before Cal Raleigh this year was the most by a primary catcher in a single season. He's got a World Series. He's got a World Series MVP. Those sort of things. You could string together as that's probably a Hall of Famer. A lot of the wins above replacement WAR stats and people that are sycophantic about those stats are like Salvi getting into the Hall of Fame would be a joke because he only has X amount of WAR and all this stuff, and it would be an embarrassment to the Hall for him being there. It's not the Hall of WAR, man. That's where you lose me when that's the only argument that you want to put out there. And I've seen it quite a bit. And listen, if Salvador Perez does get into Cooperstown, which I'm not going to rule out the possibility that he does. I want it to happen, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you definitively that it will. It's going to happen on one of the late ballots. This is the path to me that Salvador Perez is going to have to go down to end up in Cooperstown. He's going to retire in a couple of years, whatever it ends up being. And whenever that first ballot comes up, he's not going to get a huge percentage. He's got to be above 5% to stay on. I think he'll get that. He'll probably be around 10, maybe 8 to 10% on that first ballot. And then it's just a matter of, okay, can you just continue to just kind of be the guy that hangs on as someone's 10th person on a ballot? Because these writers can vote for 10 guys. And a lot of times when it's someone that you're like, man, I don't know 100% if they're a Hall of Famer, but they were a good guy. I liked watching them play. My interactions with them were good because that is something that does factor in because these are writers that hang around, the league and have been around baseball for a long time in most cases. And they're like, you know what? Salvi's a pretty good dude. Let's go ahead and keep him on for another year. And you just kind of hope that he gets enough of those to stay on. And then just keep him hanging on and just hang on until about that fourth, fifth year. Around that fourth, fifth year, it'll be like the Tim Raines and the Larry Walker and the Billy Wagner and Andrew Jones and the Edgar Martinez, where how is this guy not getting a higher percentage? Look at the stats, look at everything he did. And then hopefully you build enough momentum to where that 9th or 10th year he's able to get to that 75% mark. That's what it would have to take, in my opinion, for him to become a Hall of Famer. He's not a surefire guy. He's not a even third, fourth ballot guy. He's probably like a 9th or 10th. And if he doesn't get on the 9th or 10th, the Veterans Committee years later probably is going to end up there. Because quite honestly, if Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer, Salvador Perez should be. Flatly. Regardless, he's still one of the best players in franchise history. He's one of the better catchers of this era. And everything he has done in his career, he has deserved. And it has been an absolute joy to watch his entire career. I grew up watching him. When he came into the league, I was 12, 13 years old. My family and I had just we put down roots in Kansas, in the Kansas City area. It was considered home. It was really the first time I ever felt like I had a hometown. And so I gravitated towards, the Royals and the Chiefs really at that time because I knew that I was going to live here for a long time. And that's when the Moose, Hosmer, Salvi, that whole group comes in, the Locanes and all that. And so I've watched his whole career. I've been, he's been a huge part of it. My senior year of high school was that 2014 wild card game and playoff run. And then my freshman year of high school, first time really, away from home. One of the things that made home, I felt like I had a little slice of home was watching the Royals on that playoff run. I sat in the living room of my fraternity house watching the final out of the World Series and Salvi getting his World Series MVP trophy and award and recognition. So, and for him to still be here all these years later and still be a pillar in the community, a hell of a ball player, a great teammate, and the captain of this team, it's awesome. The conversation that is going to be very interesting this offseason is about the club option, because he does have that this is the last year, that 4-year deal he signed a few years back. They're going to pick it up. I would be shocked if they didn't. There's no way I think that you can let Salvador Perez walk and play for another uniform. I think it would look just bizarre. And it was an interesting conversation a few months ago. Like, even going into June, I'm like, man, the Salvi club option conversation is going to be real interesting, because with what he's doing right now, I don't know. Maybe this is where Father Time caught up, and then he hits all these home runs in the second half, and helped give this team a chance to fight for a wild card spot, and he ends up getting to this mark. I don't see a world where that happens, where he's not in another uniform. He's playing for Kansas City in 2026, and he's going to play until the wheels fall off. Like, there's not a world where he's going to play, where he's not going to play, if he doesn't have, like, he's going to find a way. And I'm glad that it's in Kansas City. This is an appreciation of what Salvador Perez has done, and this is not the end, but it is one of those feathers in the cap of the longevity and the production that is certainly worthy of praise, regardless of the way the game ended and the way that, this kind of the last couple of weeks have gone for this team. Still worth celebrating, absolutely. And I do want to give a huge shout out to the Philly fan that caught the ball. They found him, and when asked, hey, what do you want for the ball? He said, I just want to meet Salvi after the game and say hi. I love this. I love the game of baseball too much to ask for more than that. Now, I don't know what the interaction was like afterwards, but I thought that was really cool, because it would be real easy to negotiate. Like, yeah, I want a ball, a bat, and something else. And he's just like, nah, I just want to say hi. Oh, that was really cool. A very cool moment of humanity that I think we all need right now. We'll talk about a little bit of the future of the organization and some of the younger guys and what they did on Sunday here right after this.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
What's up, guys? I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network, and I'm here to talk to Kansas City businesses. If you rely on technology, you need an IT support team that's not just another vendor, but a true IT partner. That's how I want to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, KJ Miller. He is a VCIO at ThrottleNet, the Midwest's highest rated and most reviewed IT support company. They've been in business for more than 25 years, helping companies stay secure, productive, and ahead of the curve. They aren't just IT support, but they provide data security, IT strategy, and cloud software services. They do it all, and their reviews show they do it better than anyone else. So if you want to hear about how ThrottleNet can help your local business, join the conversation with myself, KJ Miller from ThrottleNet, and our resident genius from KC Sports Network when it comes to IT, at least as he's affectionately known by us, Mr. Craig Stout. Click the link in the description to hear how ThrottleNet can help you.
What's good, everyone? It is KCSN betting analyst Benny Heiss. Something hit me as I was driving to the Missouri side, ironically, for something not available on the Kansas side. I cross over. I just can't get over how long sports fans in the state of Missouri have been waiting. It feels like forever. Good news is you don't have to wait much longer, because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is finally coming to the Show Me State. And if you're thinking, yeah, but I got to wait on the sidelines until December 1st, it's not true. You can sign up right now. And when we go live, new Missouri customers get $300 in bonus bets just for placing a $5 bet. $5. That's not even as much as a pumpkin spice latte that's going to take over. So it's not some ragtag sports, but this is DraftKings. You got live in-game betting. So if your team starts hot, you could jump in mid-play. There's lightning fast payouts. None of that wait 3 days for your money nonsense. And you've got more ways to get in on the action. There's no better way to start. It's all from your phone. When we go live, you'll be betting with a sportsbook trusted by millions, safe, secure, fast withdrawals, everything you want. Well, except maybe a guarantee that your team will cover the spread, but that part's still on you. So here's the move. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code KCSN. And when we go live December 1st, that $5 bet turns into $300 in bonus bets. That is code KCSN in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after they are issued. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Sure to hit that like and subscribe button, everybody. I do appreciate those that are listening and after the fact on the audio side. And if you are watching this live on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button. It helps grow this channel, helps more people see this. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know it's a tall task, but I don't want to be staring at 900 for the off season. If that's the case. So hopefully we can get there, and hopefully we start turning in the right direction as this thing goes on. So today in the game, you saw a little bit of the Royals' future and some positive, and some of the positives with these guys. Try and find them, and Joel, they lost 2 out of 3 games. Are you coping right now? Yes, I am. This is totally cope, and I don't care. I do want to start with Jack Caglione. I think he has looked a lot better. Oh, before I get to that, I forgot. I've done this live read a couple of times. I still forget. I'm going to go ahead and just do this now because I hadn't gotten into my point yet. Calling all Chiefs fans, you could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is a proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, back to what I was saying. Sorry about that, guys. I think since he came back off the injured list, I think he has looked a lot better. Looks more comfortable. Yes, he's had some strikeout stuff, but the strikeout rate on the season is 21%. And if that's what he is for his whole career, or for the next couple of years, that is a perfectly manageable number for a guy that we know what the type of power he has. He's gotten the walk rate up to above 7%, and that's kind of Bobby Wood Jr.-ish. Like, it's a guy that has free swinging tendencies, a good feel to hit, not like he is just swinging for the sake of swinging. Like, he has shown a solid bat-to-ball ability with this sort of – but it's just kind of paring down the swing to make that feel to hit really click, right? That was a lot of the problem. It was, kind of being too aggressive early in counts was a lot of the problem, early on, hitting too many balls on the ground, and just it sort of limited his power potential. But we know what he looks like whenever he's hitting homers. Like in the minors, it's a 170 weighted runs created plus with 20 bombs. Like that type of player is in there. It's just a matter of being able to translate the things that he did so confidently and so well in the minors to now take that to the majors. And I really don't think he's that far off. Some of the things that we see post-injured list stint, that about a month, he talked about it needing to be a mental reset as much as a physical one. The organization was like, hey, we need, take this time to reset mentally and get, just get back to the basics and get back to what you can do. And since he's come back, he looks way more comfortable at the plate. Like you could tell he, got kind of tense in spots, and you could tell the swing was tentative and he wasn't quite seeing it or feeling it, the way that a big leaguer should. Now, some of that is just the nature of being a rookie and kind of being thrust in like he was. But I think it was pretty clear he wasn't going to learn anything in the minor leagues. He was too good for it. And now it's just, we got to find a way to get better at the big league level. He is way less aggressive early in the count now, just anecdotally. He's taking chances, 2-0, 2-1. If he gets a fastball, he's taking a rip, and it's a confident rip because he knows he's probably going to get that pitch. Still some chase stuff, but for the most part, I'm not as concerned about that as I was, a few months ago when he came up. He's done a much better job. Seems like there's a much more concerted effort trying to get the ball in the air, pull side, which, that's what you want to see. I think today was a prime example of learning, right? Second at bat against, it was actually first at bat against Aaron Nola. He, 1-2 breaking ball, flips it over, and Jack swings right over the top of it. Didn't quite see it, and it was way below the zone. Strike 3. Okay. Next time up, he gets that same breaking ball, a little earlier in the count, flips it over, and he waits back and just barrels it. Now, Nola missed his spot a little bit, but still, it was a good swing on a pitch that he recognized that he might get again. And I think that's also part of it. In that Cleveland series, he struck out on a breaking ball down. Can't remember who it was against. It might have been Gavin Williams. And then he came up again, and Williams just feeding it to him, just curveball, and he started spitting on it because he saw it. And okay, that's the growth. That's the things that I've wanted to see and see him rather than just go up there just hitting, swinging, and for the sake of it. We're not seeing that anymore or as much, which is a good sign. This offense, one of the biggest things that that has been talked about, something people want to consider is, okay, well, who's going to be the middle of the order bat going forward? Vinny's great, but he's probably not a 3-hitter going forward. Salvador Perez is not a 4 or 5 hitter, or a 4-hitter. He's probably more 5 or 6 hitter at this point. Who can be a middle of the order bat that can protect Bobby and help lead this offense? In a idealistic world, Jack Caglione is that. And I think people got out on him so quickly because he had so many struggles at the big league level when it was the same people clamoring for him to come up to the big leagues. And when it didn't go well, it was he sucks, so let's just move on. I don't know about that. I think the talent is still incredibly immense, and I know the organization still believes in him a really good amount. So we'll see what he does over these next 12 games and how he's able to get better over spring training, the offseason, spring training, and then he's going to be in the lineup on opening day in 2026. I would be shocked if he wasn't. And he's going to be, he kind of is a hinge point piece to this core going forward. Because we know Bobby, Michael, Vinny, they're going to be they're going to be solid big leaguers. Bobby, obviously elite level, but we know Michael and Vinny are solid to above average to great big leaguers. Somewhere, they're good. They're established, really good players. Okay, there we go. I guess I can just stop rambling about it. We know that Jack has the talent to be that, but is it going to mesh? Is he going to be able to put it all together to be that? And if he is, this offense takes a big jump next year, I think. If he doesn't, and we're still seeing a lot of these same struggles, then it's kind of Bobby, Vinny, Michael, Salvi, save us, please, and because no one else is going to hit. It does get tricky. But if he's able to take the steps forward, it will take some of the things that he's done at the end of the year, then next season gets a little more interesting. I like what I saw from Carter Jensen today. He's looking more comfortable. Again, kind of looks the part. I'd expect him to be on the opening day roster in 2026. He got a hit today. He got a 2 RBI hit, I believe it was on Saturday. And then, he got a hit today at the bottom of the order to help extend an inning. Salvi ends up hitting a 3-run homer out of the 9 spot. He got behind the plate today. I didn't really notice him, which is a good thing. Right? If you're not, it's kind of like an umpire or a left tackle, with Josh Simmons today watching the Chiefs game. I didn't really notice Josh Simmons, which is a good thing because that means they weren't messing up. And I thought Carter handled himself really well. He's getting comfortable. And as he gets more time in, I imagine we're going to see him catching, a little more down the stretch just to get him the experience and probably in spots where he's got guys that he's, guys he's familiar with. I don't think he'll throw to Waka on Tuesday. Maybe he catches Cole, but I don't even know about that. Thursday might be Kolick. So at that point, that might be a spot where you start Carter, with that being a day game, day game after a night game, depending on the Mariners don't have a left-handed starting pitcher. So it would be all righties anyways. So there's a soft landing for him. We're going to still see him in the lineup a few days a week. Let's keep getting him comfortable, getting him a taste. But I think he has shown that the potential is there. Lift the ball pulse side, and we'll see. So we can really get an idea of like, oh shoot, that power is legit. We need that in the lineup more often. I saved Noah Cameron for last for no other reason other than like, what else is there to say? The guy's awesome, right? Like, he gives up the 2 home runs early to Kyle Schwarber and JT Realmuto. And then after that, there are only 3 hard hit balls against him in the next 6 innings. 6 innings, only two more hits given up. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 97 pitches. Got his ERA back down, sub 3. He had 18 swings and misses, 8 on his curveball, and 5 on his changeups. 13 of the 18 on those 2 breaking pitches. The fastball really didn't get a ton of swing and miss, but his fastball doesn't in general. Like, he uses the fastball to set up the changeup and the breaking ball. He's not looking to use that as a big-time swing and miss pitch. I do think it's interesting today, as I'm looking at the numbers, he actually is spinning it pretty well. Like, he's got 17 inches of deuce vertical break on the fastballs. Like, it's a weapon for him. Averaging around 92, 93. If he's able to be a little more like Chris Bubich and make it a 93 to 95 instead of 90 to 93, like just a little tick up this offseason, without selling out for crazy velocity. Like, he doesn't need much more. And maybe he's able to level up another breaking pitch. I mean, there's still places. This guy's about it, to me, as steady of a force as you're going to have for quite a while. At a certain point, you kind of wondered, like, man, is he going to get figured out? What's going to happen? And he's just been outside of a couple of starts, and then they gave him a break. He really has been about as steady as Michael Wacha in this rotation. And if this is like your number 3, number 4 for the next 5 years, I mean, that's a really valuable asset to have in this rotation going forward, and went from being just hey, this is a really cool story, local kid getting a chance to play for the hometown team, to, man, this guy's going to be a Rookie of the Year finalist. And I don't think any of us saw that coming when they brought him up. He's been unbelievable. Stats on the year, like I said, 2.98 ERA, 103 strikeouts on 127 innings. The whip is 1.09. 37 walks, and those have come down significantly since the first part of his big league career. That was something that kind of bit him a little bit. But in the last 2 starts, he had against the Angels, after it was the start after they gave him the rest, he walked 5, struck out 5. But then his next 2 starts, 7 innings, no walks, 8 strikeouts, and then 7 innings, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. So he's, what was that, 15 strikeouts to 1 walk, that's 14 innings. That's pretty darn good. I imagine he gets another start or 2. He'll start against Toronto, and then that might be it. But certainly a worthy, a top 3 finalist, Rookie of the Year MVP, or Rookie of the Year campaign, Rookie of the Year MVP. My God, it's one of those days. My brain is scrambled, fried. It's been a day, been a weekend, been a few days. I think I'm just going to go ahead and end and try and land the plane right there. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Make sure to like, rate, subscribe, review on all platforms. Be sure to hit those notification bells. We'll be back later this week. They are playing the Seattle Mariners later this week. Let me get those probables before we get out of here, as I often do. I think I briefly mentioned earlier, Michael Wacha is going to come off of the concussion injured list to start that game. There on Tuesday in Seattle will be Logan Gilbert on the mound for Seattle. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be Bryce Miller and Cole Reagans making his first start since the beginning of June. I know that it seemed like an odd conversation, but I think it's just he's been ramping up. You might as well give him a couple of starts. They wouldn't be doing it if he was, significantly injured or anything like that. So that's going to be that. And then a day game on Thursday. It'll be Luis Castillo on the mound for Seattle, and then the and then the Royals, it's TBD. I think that might be a potential Lugo spot, but if he's not ready to go, then that'll be Stephen Kolek, be my guess, is how they're going to handle the next couple of days. Tuesday, I'll do the normal show, and then Thursday that'll be like a normal post-game show, and then Thursday, I'll go live 8:30, like normal, to recap the final 2 games of that series, preview that Toronto series for the weekend. And that's going to be the plan. So we'll talk soon. Toast game Salvador Perez for 300 homers and 1,000 RBIs. And we'll talk soon, everybody. Take care.